This is the Ordinary Business Podcast for business owners who want honest conversations, a lean business, and an extraordinary life on their own terms. Branda, what is your favorite pen or like marker to write with?
It's the Papermate Ink Joy Gel. I don't know if it matters, but it's 0.7.
I'm a Papermate Flare pen. That's my favorite.
Okay. I used to always use the ballpoint Papermates. And then I don't know, one day, actually, I think it was like during my maternity leave, my mom brought over a goodie bag. And it had these in them. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever used. And so now I'm like obsessed with using it. But I have different pens for different things.
For
different types of paper. Yes. I don't want something that smears on my planner. I don't always use black on like my notepads. So, yeah.
Okay. So we are talking today about how you use a bulletin board on your desk to keep track of things and monitor your capacity and your schedule and all that. But before we get into that, can you introduce yourself and tell us about what you do?
Yeah, my name is Branda. I'm the owner of the Relevant Collective, and I'm an email strategist and funnel girly, as I like to say. My favorite thing to do is funnels for people. So that's like writing their evergreen funnels, mapping out all the emails and the flow. And that's like where the big nerd in me comes out. I love to strategize like the flow of emails. I don't know why, but that's so exciting to me. And then write them all and watch it do its thing.
Okay, so this bulletin board, this is how you juggle everything in your business. I want to start with how it kind of came to be. Did something keep happening in your business? Was it like, oh, this is a major hiccup and I have to figure something out?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of a lot of things. So I used to be a teacher, and the bulletin board I have here was like from my days of teaching. And so when I first started my business, like the inner teacher in me would be like, I'm going to put things up on this bulletin board. But they had like no meaning, you know? And then I did the sticky note thing. Like my desk would be like covered in sticky notes. And then I bought this like, instead of sticky notes, because that's so cluttery, I got like a little whiteboard for my desk. And I just found that none of those things were really like actually helping me. The sticky notes were really overwhelming. So I don't know like where the initial one day I was like, I should do this. But I printed out those page by page calendars, right? And then to me, I was like, that's still not working, because the problem is I can't just look at 1 month. Like I can't just look at June. I can't just look at July. I need to know what's happening like 3 months from now, because I'm trying to plan out launches. I'm trying to plan out summits and bundles. And it just wasn't doing it for me to have just the calendar up there, like of 1 month. I think through this process, I found I'm a very visual person, was kind of like what started happening. It's like being able to actually see it, having it in ClickUp, that's great. Like that's wonderful. But if it's not right in front of my face saying, hey, you have this thing that you have to do, it just doesn't happen.
Yep.
And I just totally forget about it. So then I created like a quarterly template, and I was like, okay, if I can look at 3 months at a time, that's a lot better than just one. And so I started noticing that was helping me a lot. And then I would get, emails for things. Hey, do you want to join this summit? And I'm like, I do want to join this summit. And I look at my calendar and I go, oh my God, I can't join this summit, But I had like one particularly bad month. It was like 1 March. I don't know why everyone wants to do things in March, but it feels like every year I have like 5 commitments in March. And that was the one moment that I was like, I have to start writing this down somewhere to where I can like actually look and see. So that's kind of how I've been using it now. But it really took a lot of trial and error of like a lot of different things to get to the point of being like, what does my brain need to visually see to keep me on track?
I actually don't have a planner or bulletin board or anything for my business. I like live in my Google Calendar. But personally, I have the fridge calendars, but I actually bought 2 so that I could see this month and next month. And sometimes I'm like, do I need to do a 3rd month? Do I just need to do this quarterly? But it's really helpful to see all of that in advance. So I totally relate.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to be nosy. And can you walk us through like what's currently on your bulletin board?
Yeah. So the first thing I mentioned, I have the quarterly calendar. So that's one part of it. This is also one of my nerd things. And again, maybe it's the inner teacher in me that's like little goals and things, like little fun little things. So I've decided this year I'm going to gamify my business. So I did bingo boards in the past. And then, I don't know, that didn't work for me, because then like halfway through the year, I'd be like, half of these bingo things I don't even want to do anymore. So instead, what I did was I created like a little game board, and I printed it out and I put at the bottom different tasks that would allow me to put like a sticker on my game board and move down. And then along the game board, there's like different
Nice.
prizes, So right now I'm working my way through a Bundt cake. Yeah. I'm 2 more
I
things and
love
I'm
it.
going to buy myself a Bundt cake because I love Bundt cakes. Then I have a goal sheet. So again, what are some of my big goals for the year? Like I want to reach a certain number of email subscribers. I would love to get a certain amount of income, right? To book a certain amount of clients. And then as I do that, I put little stickers and then I have like another little section that's like, if you hit this goal, then you get this prize. Hit this goal, you get this prize. The hardest part was coming up with the prizes because there wasn't a lot of things I wanted other than food, honestly. And then I have a wish list of things. So that's like the big things that I'm working towards in my business. The last thing is, I don't know if, and I'm going to forget what people call it, but there's this trend that went around for a while that was like the rejection challenge. That people were doing, like I would go into a restaurant and I would ask them something that I think they're going to say no, and then half the time they'd say yes. And it like led to all these different opportunities. Like, what if I did that in my business? Like every time I do something that really scares me that I normally wouldn't do because it's really scary, I put a sticker on this chart, and I'm working towards 100 things that like me want to like throw up a little bit, But I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to like DM this person and ask this. I don't want to like send this email.
Yeah.
Like, I feel so yucky. I'm like, but it's good for you. Just do it. So then that motivates me a lot because I get to put a sticker. And then I have a really big prize for myself at the end of that. So it's just honestly a lot of like external motivation, as I found, and visual stimulus going on. But I love shiny stickers. That's always fun to put that on my board. And then I love just seeing that I've worked through goals, or if I haven't maybe worked through a goal in a while. There were 2 months that went by that were just like me surviving. And I'm like, okay, we haven't been working on our warm-up plan. And we haven't been putting stickers on our game board. So what can we do this month to get a sticker up there?
Nice. Okay, so just to clarify the game board, what I love board games. So the prize at the end of the game is the Bundt cake, correct?
So I have like little prizes along the way and then like one big one at the end. So I have like 5 to 6 dots. And then it'll be like a star with a prize. My first one was, there's a local dessert place down the road for me, and I'll go get something from the dessert place. And I went on a little date with my friend and we got dessert. And then the next one is the Bundt cake. And then I have a movie night where I'm like, I'll have a friend over, we'll order pizza, we'll do a movie night. So it's like little things, and then I have like a big thing at the end. My big one at the end is like a spa day. So
you'd mentioned a few different things like the email subscribers, the revenue. So do you have a game board for each different goal?
The other ones are just me kind of like calculating as I get towards the goal. The game board are things that I found in my business I don't do enough of, that I need to do more. So this is like my warm-up board. So it's like publishing blogs, getting on podcasts.
So you get a sticker for today?
Yeah, I do. I do get a sticker for today. So it's like things that help me get out there, visibility, different types of things. It's just things that would help my business in different ways or help me network with people. Those are the things that I just don't do enough. And so I was like, I need like a way to motivate myself to do these things and to remember, because I'm always like, how do I get out there? How do I get more visible? And then I'm like, oh, look, I have a list right here.
Nice. Okay, so is the game each month or is it just like ongoing?
It's just one big game board. And then I just kind of write about the sticker, like the day. I'll put like, Jessica's podcast and then the day.
This episode is sponsored by Bundt Designs. Got a DIY website that's just not cutting it anymore? Grab your website wish list and she'll turn your website into a beautiful, accessible, and user-friendly site. Schedule a free consult with Bundt Designs to discuss your Squarespace website design needs at brightbunchdesigns.com. I like the prizes along the way, because I find that if it's just too far away, then it's like, this is taking forever and I'm losing steam.
Yes. You need like the little pit stops to like, and I think that's also something, it's celebrating the wins along the way. I always see memes that are like, when you're a perfectionist and it's like, when I don't meet my goals and I spend all night beating myself up. And then when I do meet my goals, I'm like, okay, on to the next. And I'm like, that's me. So I'm like, how can I stop and be like, look what you did? You've got a sticker, you got your dessert. You are making progress, even though sometimes it feels like it's taking forever.
I like that. Okay, so how are you using this to say no or yes to things? Like, do you have anything that kind of lists your capacity, or do you do that more like month by month?
Yeah, for me, and I will say this is the part that I'm like, I made this in December of last year when I had a 4-month-old. So I was just coming off of maternity leave. Like I had no idea. And so I'm definitely having to adapt different things this season of life, right? Because it used to be like, it was totally fine if I accidentally booked 2 summits in a month, which often happens again in March for some reason, and then always in the summer because I work with a lot of teacher business owners. And so summer's a big time for them to be doing PD and launching and all that. And it's really easy to overcommit myself. I cannot
Right.
afford to do that anymore because I will be up until 1 a.m. trying to get things done and like hating my life. So this now is very strict for me. I cannot overlap things. And I can maybe do 1 a month, preferably maybe 2 a quarter, probably max, is where I'm at. And I also am doing a lot more launching in my business. That's something I started also when I was on maternity leave. And so I'm trying to do launches once a quarter, and I'm finding that often is not meshing well now with a lot of other things. I'm like committing to a launch, and then I start seeing, oh my God, the promos in the middle of this launch or right after I finish this launch. I'm like, okay. So I'm having to also be better about planning my own things in my business on my calendar. And that has to go there. Because that's been mistakes I've run into where I'm like, I'm on vacation. I did not write it down on my calendar. And I'm supposed to be doing a live call. That happened to me one time. I booked a flight. And then I realized, oh my God, I signed up for this live thing for a summit. And I'm like, I'm going to be at the airport. I'm like, I should have never agreed to that. And then it makes me look flaky. It makes me look like people can't depend on me. And that's not like the impression I want to give. So I need to like make sure my life and my business are overlapping well.
Yes.
That helps me do
It's
that.
tricky. I was in a summit just a few weeks ago, and there's always like the promo period that happens before the summit and everything. Usually that's more involved than the actual summit itself, because most summits now are pre-recorded. And I got asked to be in another one, but even though the summits weren't happening at the exact same time, like the promotion period was going to overlap. And I was like, no one wants me to promote 2 summits at the same time. Like, I don't want to, but then also it's just going to be like chaos trying to be like, go to both of these. And like, I'm in both. I would love to be in both, but they're at the same time. And even though I don't have to show up live, that promotion period, it's too much.
Yeah. I think that's what's hard is you sometimes don't want to turn down opportunities. And I think that's what makes me often overcommit to things. But on the other side of it, I've also overcommitted myself, and then I don't actually give a lot to the summit, right? I feel like I barely promote it. I barely talk about it. And then I feel bad. And then I actually don't spend the time that I need to making as quality of stuff to get the benefit out of it, right? I'm like, okay, I'm just throwing a freebie in there. I'm like, yeah, use this, And then the funnel that comes afterwards, I didn't update it at all. I didn't do what I needed to. I didn't make sure that the freebie connected well to my topic. And so then it's like, was that really worth it? Sure, I made a presentation and I showed up for this. But at the end of the day, did it actually highlight me in my best way? Probably not, So I think that's too, like, I hate saying no to stuff, but at the end of the day, probably better to turn down some things and like put really good effort behind the ones I do commit to.
Yeah. What would you do if you reached the end of your game board, but it's like September?
Yeah.
It's not the end of the year.
Yeah, I actually thought about that because like in January, I filled up like 4 of the spots and there's not a million spots on there. I mean, there's maybe like 20 max, So I was like, oh my God, am I going to need another game board? And then it kind of like slowed down as things got a little crazy. But my plan was, I was like, I'll just create another one and like just see. Because I just made it in Canva. Like it wasn't anything crazy. I'm like, I could just delete some of the things, make it a little bit shorter if I'm like in October and decide I need another game board. So, or maybe I'll just make the stuff harder.
I like a challenge. Yeah, I like it. And then you switch out the quarterly calendar, obviously each quarter. Do you just print the calendar and then like handwrite everything, or do you like fill it all in digitally and then print it out?
Yeah, I made a template a while back and I just print out all 4 pages. I just stick them all up there at one time so I can kind of flip through. If I get something way out, I'm like, okay, I'm committing to something like 5 months from now, I can go ahead and jot it down. Or if I'm planning way out for a launch or whatever, I can go ahead and write it down. And then I just have it on thumbtacks and switch the pages out as needed.
I think what I like most about this, one, it's a little bit of whimsy and fun, but also that it's leaning into kind of something you were already used to as a teacher and leaning into just that kind of, I don't know if structure is the right word, but obviously this is business and we can track our goals in whatever a million different ways. But I think sometimes I hear business owners being like, oh, well, I'm trying to do it this way, but it doesn't work for me. I like
Yeah.
that you just pulled from your prior experience and you're like, this is kind of what I'm used to and this is my jam.
Yeah.
And you stuck with that. And I think I just like that. Obviously, I'm a big fan of anything that is doing it your way and not like,
Yeah.
well, you could easily tell yourself, well, I'm not a teacher, so I can't use bulletin boards or.
Yeah. I think too, so many different systems and things like that. I don't know. I love threads, but there's so many opinions on threads. I have to like really shut it off sometimes. I'm like, wow, this place is overwhelming. But I go on there and everyone's, this is dead. Don't do this. You have to do this. This is the best platform. And honestly, the best of anything is just what works for your brain. And in the past like 5, 6 years I've been in business, I've changed so much. I've moved platforms. I've tried new things because what works for me again in one season may not work in the next. Or I find something worked really well and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's just like not clicking with me anymore. I've tried out so many different platforms until I found one that was like, that works with my brain. Like, I don't know what it is, but sometimes it just like that clicked. And I think you just have to be willing to try stuff and like ignore what everyone says. This is what you have to be doing. This is what all the top business owners are doing. Who cares?
And I know some people would be like, oh, but then your bulletin board, you can't be automated and you can't use Claude and you can't whatever. But as you were talking, I was like, one, I love games, but two, I wasn't a teacher, but I come from a family of teachers. And I'm like, wait, I use the physical calendar personally. And I was like, should I try? Like, I've never tried it for my business. I've always just been in Google Calendar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have space for a bulletin board over here.
Yeah.
I can already see like the trendy little TikToks, like in my head, I can see the women who are like decorating something or they're like restocking their fridge. And I'm like, I can see myself making that type of video, like refreshing my bulletin board for the fall, but it's for business.
Yeah. Honestly. Wait, that's actually such a great idea. I should do like themed stuff on my bulletin board.
Yes. I'm like, wait a minute. This could be really fun. Branda, you're giving me like a craft idea.
It's fun things on it too, just like it has like pictures and like other fun things, so it's my fun and happy place.
Okay. So for someone listening who is feeling distracted, overbooked, anything like that, we were talking about going the full 9 yards with themes and decorations. What would you recommend? Like where should they start if they want to set up some kind of bulletin board or physical kind of tracker?
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to say like, even if you don't have a bulletin board, right, you just have a wall next to your desk. I would say if there was 2 things that I had to take off my bulletin board and be like, these are the 2 things that have really changed my business. It's the quarterly calendar. That's really changed it for me. So either like, again, printing out 3 calendars on a page, getting, I don't know if they make desk calendars like that. You know how they make those like giant wall calendars that people will put up? Yes, like getting something like that, maybe like a smaller size. Or, I mean, you could stick those on your wall. People use those. That to me, biggest game changer and making sure I don't overbook myself. I know it's paper. Not everyone's a fan of paper. For me, just being able to jot that down and quickly look when I get an email that's like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, I cannot do that. Or yes, I would love to. And immediately writing down has been a game changer. And then a game board, I have to say, that has been just a fun way to like motivate myself, my business. Just write down some things that you're like, I would love to do these little tasks every single quarter. And every time you do them, give yourself a reward, a puffy sticker, a glittery sticker, a smiley sticker, scratch and sniff. Why not?
Yes. As you were talking, I also got another idea. This isn't quite as fun as the themes, but we were talking about like capacity and the promotion of summits and stuff. And I was like, it's really easy for us to be like, summit May 10th and 11th, due date April 10th, boom, done. And I would probably color code it because I'm a nerd. But I'm going to need the energy, the marketing emails, the social whatever, like just saying like mental energy. Maybe it's not literally promoting every day, but like, and a like highlighter from like April, 10th, whatever, until the summit, whenever the promotion period is.
Yeah.
I feel like that would help me see like, look, you've already got a stripe of yellow and a stripe of orange for 2 things that you're, promoting or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would help because, again, it's not just the due date. It's all the energy and the task in between.
Yeah, I actually got erasable highlighters for that.
Wait,
that are
they have
like, I have them
erasable
right
highlighters now?
underneath my calendar. Yeah. They're not as
Yeah.
bright as like regular highlighters. But they are erasable highlighters, and I will highlight because sometimes things do change. Like I'll play it a launch and then I'll be like, I need more time. So I'll like move it back
Mm.
and I can just erase it. So highly recommend some erasable
That's fun.
highlighters.
Okay. Well, this has been super
Yeah.
fun and nerdy, and I love it. And I'm just thank you for sharing your bulletin board with us.
Yeah.
Well, not literally with us, but the idea of it. Where can we connect
Yeah.
with you online and learn more about what you do?
Yeah. So my website is therelevantcollective.com. It's not super cute. I was talking to Jessica about this on Threads. I need to update it, but I also hang out on Instagram and Threads at The Relevant Collective.
The show notes so y'all can go connect with Branda. But thanks again for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.